Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah, there's Luke.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yep. Hey,
Hey
everybody.
there.
Hey, everybody. Yep, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Evidently, I hit a clicked it off. Anyway. All right. Professional here, always professional. All right.
So professional.
I know, seriously, man. Anyway, so the topic of discussion today is why we need a single crowdfund website. Now, IGG has done a heel turn. Okay, it's going around the bend. It's not coming back from there. Okay, there's still people that are hoping it'll right itself if we complain enough, or if we raise enough of a stink, they'll change their ways. But it's not coming back, folks. It's not coming back. What's it good? Once you go woke, you never go back the other way, unless you're Twitter. Okay. Well, unless some billionaire gets butt hurt and swoops in and buys your whole entire platform and just burns it all to the ground, which is glorious. I have to admit.
Thank God for those millionaires.
Yeah. Well, millionaires and billionaires. I'm sorry, no millionaires anymore because he's a millionaire now. But anyway. Okay. But the whole entire thing is, do we need? All people have reacted by kind of splintering off. Okay.
Sorry, guys, I'm doing fulfillment.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, people are kind of like. Yeah. There you go. But people are kind of like.
People want their books.
They
want them
they're splintering off and making their own like individual websites. Like Bancroft was like advertising that he had made his own Shopify. And the Era Saga a long time ago made his own Shopify, and there's other people like the virtual spinner rack. I think that Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan are doing.
Yep.
But I don't even know what that is. Anybody know what that is?
I just heard about it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
They still haven't completely rolled it out, but from what I've gathered talking to both Chuck and Graham, it's gonna be their basically like their crowdfunded site. Him, Billy, Fraga, that whole like
the professionals,
big name, the professionals. So
right.
you'll have like one spot that you can go and see like all their active campaigns, and be able to click to go to their personal websites and buy stuff afterwards.
In other words, a boys only club, and it's just for the professionals. Got you. Anyway, well, we're going to talk about an alternative that isn't a boys only club. Okay. Held by meaty knights and dirty bastards. Hail Lord Sandwich.
I guess I'm the latter of that. So
I guess so. It is what it is. And Belmont's on the moon. What's up, Belmont?
I'm on the high side of the moon.
It's on the high side of the moon.
The dark side.
Yeah, there you go.
I got this one piece of hair that won't stay over. There we go.
Yeah. So why did you get the SJW hairdo, man?
It's not an SJW hairdo.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, the front.
Got the long thing, the comb over, and the shave on the side. That's SJW, man.
No,
a little
I've been doing
bit.
this for ages.
Okay. All right.
No, that's the Viking do. But if that one piece in the front keeps sticking up, it's the tin.
It's a Ragnar haircut.
Okay, there you go. All right.
He's ready
Anyway, Alfalfa.
Okay, speaking of Luke Stone, there's a reason he's on here today. Okay.
I'm on here.
Yeah, unlike the virtual spinner rack, which is evidently professionals only, we are Mr. Luke over here is putting his money where his mouth is, and he's creating a general platform similar to what IndiGoGo was, what we lost with IndiGoGo, except we don't have a council of blue-haired landwells from Portland with their fingers over the button of doom. And so, which is a good
We
thing.
don't have a button of doom. No.
No button of doom. However, pornography is not allowed on the website.
No, not yet.
Not yet until they can get the proper.
I don't know.
Insurance
Honestly, I don't know that that's
stuff.
necessary.
Right.
I don't know a lot of us that are making pornography, and quite honestly, I mean, you know.
If you're already making a book that has pornography on it, odds are you're already doing well without using a crowdfunding site. Don't ask me how.
There you go. There are outlets for that. That's a popular thing. It's a popular thing.
Yeah.
Just ask those little chick millionaires on the OnlyFans.
Things go bad for me. I can make furry porn.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could.
You already been doing that.
You won't get busted.
You already got a cover with a wolf butt on it, so there you go. Hell, chat and pat away. Hey, Locko. What's up, Ray? What's up? Hell.
You won't get busted for. Okay.
You won't get busted for that stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Ray, if you want to come on, man, let me know. I'll send you a link. Anyway, so what we're doing here with buy one back one is.
I was actually trying to answer the question from Lord Sandwich. Why not a spicy scene only?
Oh, okay.
You won't get kicked for nudity, violence, or language. Okay, that is
right.
That is okay. We're gonna have an 18 plus ticker, so you can present your campaign any way that you want to, absolutely any way you want to.
Yeah.
But if it's got those kind of things in the presentation and in the book, you need to click 18 plus. That way, people can filter that out from their searches if they don't want to see it, like someone has their, they're letting their kid or their teenager look at it, they can filter that out.
Yeah.
Or if they want to look at that, they can specify they want 18 plus and get all the material. But no one's going to get their funds withheld. No one's going to get, dinged for community guidelines or anything like that. The lawyers have been working on that. We were going to call it not safe for work, but we can't do that because not safe for work includes pornography. And the problem with pornography is like a site like Pornhub or something like that has to have a different set of insurances, and certain banks will not work in that with that stuff at all. So we would have to figure all of that out. And so we just opted not to do that for the beginning for phase one. So we can launch. It looks very close like we're going to launch next week, guys. And so that's the that seems to be where things are going with that. Now, having said that, I don't think that it's going to be an issue for people with the 18 plus or anything like that. So, no one's getting booted for that. So you can have as many spicy scenes as you want. And if there's a sex act in your book, just don't tell me about it. Ignorance is bliss. And quite truthfully, I've had a lot of questions, because Todd and I are both men of faith. They're like, well, you won't draw nudity, you won't draw sex, but yet you'll benefit off of having someone do that on your site. Well, our site is dedicated to three things. Number one is freedom of expression, having fierce independence, and a trust relationship. And so if we can do those three things for ourselves, then we have to do that for everybody. And so we wouldn't want anybody, if I want to make the most goofy Christian book that I possibly can, I wouldn't want anyone kicking me off of any site, saying you can't make that book. It's anti-Catholic. It's this, it's that. I wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron wrote a children's book with Christmas overtones, and he's not being allowed to read it in libraries that allow drag queen story hours. So
sure, totally.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
Yeah. So I mean, it's in certain circles they're just as negative towards Christianity as Christians are towards pornography. So,
that was part of the reason for building this site, because I'm like, well, today it's Mike Barron. Tomorrow it could be me because of my faith, So we just want to make sure that it's open for everybody. we have a right to do that, but we also want to have some responsibility with it. That's why we're doing the 18 plus ticker on there, so that we can keep that safe for everybody.
Yeah, you know, with a site like that, you kind of can't win with what you do. No. You kind of have to make up your own line, kind of like what you did, and say, this is the farthest we're going to go. And, you know, borderline crazy shit, we're just going to leave people alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think honestly, you can definitely draw the line at illegal and harmful towards children.
Yeah, well, basically, if it's illegal, we can't have it on the site because we'll get in trouble. So, you know.
Well, the line would be like a good example of this would be, remember Tim Vigil's Faust? Do you remember that comic?
Yeah.
He had like claws, and it would be massive gore, and it would be total, like, I mean, wide open sex. And like, that's something you would go, this still is a comic. It's not pornography, really, but it's crazy.
It skirts the line, yeah. It skirts the line.
Skirts the line, right?
But yeah, so we obviously will have a line that we're not allowed to cross. So we're not gatekeeping the laws and what is available to us. Kind of set the rule for us, and so we're being very open about that. No one's going to get kicked because they have an anti-Christian book or a pro-Muslim book, or heck, if Kanye wants to come on and make a comic book about how much he loves the Nazis, you know, I'm not going to buy it, but he's more than, you know, with this platform, people are more than welcome to free speech.
Call them up. Call them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So CG and anti-CG are both welcome to the site. It's only a 2% platform fee. So I imagine a lot of people will look past the fact that CG guys have created this site and be like, well, I think I'm going to use the site anyway because they can save so much money. They can keep so much more of their own money in their pocket.
And plus, there is going to be a partnership with IndiGoGo, and IndiGoGo has a bigger presence in general comics than they as much as they do CG, and mainly because it was kind of pushed out of CG proper for a little while there, and so to exist, they basically had to go out into mainstream comics more than they did with this community, and so what they've done is they pulled in. There's people that are on IndiGoGo that aren't anywhere else. Hey, Immortal Rising, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Good to see you. Hold on 1 second. So Hail Genuine Comics, hey man, and Hail Dave. All right.
Dave, what's up, Dave?
What's constellations going on there?
Yeah. Well, anyway, back to the premise for a second. So the pitfalls that I see with all these smaller websites popping up. Now you have something like CG Now that's an aggregator. And there's another website, Buy One Back One, run by Ian, that has kind of like has a lot of these campaigns in one place to click on. But
he's doing a good job with that.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with that. Check it out. I think we got a link to it. But at the same time, though, the problem with having with losing this one centralized marketplace was the normies need a place to discover our books. Okay,
right? Like a mall.
Yeah, like we need to be in the marketplace somewhere. Which is why they're kicking us out of IGG. Holy cow! Justin just landed on the moon. Yeah. Anyway, it's he said it's the high side of the moon. Yeah, it's not his first time. He pretty much visits there about once or twice a day. Anyway,
wait, it's almost 4:20. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's almost 4:20.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway, it's almost there.
It's only 6:20 here.
Big hitter afternoon.
Anyway, before Shadowpunk cuts out on us. Anyway,
it's always 4. Did you say it's always 4:20 somewhere?
It's always 4:20 somewhere. Yeah.
That is 5 o'clock.
Okay. But the one thing IGG offered us that we're losing is a the mingling spot to where indie comics met our community. Okay, and because of that interface, there were books that we're basically finding people. People are finding CG projects and finding this community through IGG, and they were also able to, back before they screwed with the trending, back before they screwed with, if you like this, you like that. Back before they went evil, in other words, they were, books that may not see the light of day. Were being discovered and being backed. Okay. And so when you lose that, when everybody goes their own separate ways and creates their own little, websites, you lose that kind of casual browse, which is vitally important to get eyes on your stuff. Buy One Back One was kind of designed to kind of circumvent some of the stuff that we saw on Twitter, to where books weren't being pushed. Evidently, you got Amanda B. So
what's up?
Yeah. What's up, Amanda?
That's
Anyway,
my daughter's dog. So it's my grandpup. This dog is as stupid as she is cute, man. I'm telling you.
When you're that cute, you don't have to be smart.
My other dog is pretty smart. She's pretty smart, and she looks at her like the little dog will do something. The big dog will look at her, and then just like do that eye shift and catch eyes with me, and have her. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I understand.
Yeah, she's got Pomeranian in them. They're not known to be brilliant, anyway.
Yeah, she's full blooded. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Anyway, but so what we're the reason why I think Buy One Back or Fund My Comics is going to be vitally important is because we need to get that back. If we splinter as a community, we're going to start drifting away from each other. The matrix is going to start, dissolving, and we're going to lose the special connection we had in this community.
Well,
that allowed us to do that.
Let me say that it's a lot like it's the reason why everyone is so, when they're trying to level up, quote unquote level up, why Diamond is such a big deal to them, because it's the one central place where they can get their books seen. Now, for the people that don't want to go the route of making pennies per book, and they want to have a more sustainable life, living off of crowdfunding their books, that centralized location is important. And when you're fractured like that, it takes away the possible for some organic traffic that you don't have to work for, so to speak. But when everyone is using a centralized site, and that's why IndiGoGo was such a big deal for us, or KickStarter was a big deal for us. But when they started kicking projects that didn't align with their thought or their politics, and then when they started shadow banning for seemingly like no reason at all for some things, it became evident that we needed an alternative. And we looked at Crowdfunder. I think some people did that. Someone tried Zoop, and that didn't work out too well. And we just need a safe, I hate to say it, safe space, because it sounds so, but we need a neutral space. We need a neutral space where you can create freely. And it just so happened that fundmycomic.com domain was available. So, I mean, we're going to do more than comics. Obviously, we're going to do games and things like that. But
flattery will get you anywhere, hey Hojo. Just so you know.
It'll get him everywhere with me.
You just want sign up, guys. You just want sign ups.
All right.
I always when I'm at a con,
I feel used now.
When I'm at a con and someone comes, if they compliment my art a lot, I'll give them a discount. I said flattery works, man. I said, I'll take $5 off that for you.
That's all it takes? Couple comments?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell me how good I am. Yeah.
Yeah, a little rub, a little tug. It's fine.
I don't know about going that far, but
tell Belmont how beautiful his bloodshot eyes are, and he'll do he'll go along with it. Anyway, all right. But before we get too far out, anyway, Redshift Comics is there. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Todd? Todd's one of
That's
the
my partner in
masterminds behind this whole thing. Too bad he's at work; he can't come on, but he'd be good to have it in on this. Anyway, hi, Will is the most handsome one out of all you right now, especially Belmont. Yeah. Very funny, Hojo. Very funny.
Till I turn my camera on.
Yeah, there you go. He likes your icon. Well, yeah. Todd's doing the compliment thing. Yeah. Good panel today. All right, man. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, the organic traffic is vitally important. Anyway,
what were the reasons?
What
were the reasons? Did anybody hear what the reasons were given for the shadow banning and stuff like that? Because I don't remember actually hearing any.
No one knows.
Terms.
Well,
no one knows.
Yeah. Let me give you a timeline here. GoFundMe kind of went around the bend, around the time that the trucker thing was happening in Canada, and then suddenly, but it was happening before that. I was seeing campaigns. There were cherry picking campaigns that could be on GoFundMe, like people with certain affiliations that had like cancer GoFundMes were suddenly, oh, you're not allowed to use our website. And then people who were like Antifa or things like that and raising funds for their excursions were allowed on GoFundMe. And that was happening for a little while. And then the whole Canadian government asking them to freeze funds for the truckers. And then somebody within them linking people who had donated to the truckers. That was a big red flag because GoFundMe is the parent company of IndiGoGo. And so we were always like concerned that eventually GoFundMe was going to like turn their eyes to their crowdfunding platform and say, oh, wait a second now, And, sure enough, the CEO came in, the female CEO came in who had woke agenda bona fides.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, okay, here we go. But it didn't happen for a while. It just kind of subtly came in. Suddenly campaigns were unsearchable. Suddenly campaigns were disappearing from the trending page and things like that. They didn't do everything right away. It's the frog with the bowling pot, basically. Right. And she announced that there was going to be a trust and safety. Anytime a company announces there's a trust and safety, it means they're going woke. Trust and safeties are just basically, censorship apparatuses. That's what they are.
Thought police.
Yeah, they're the thought police, right? Miss Scary Poppins, that did the little singing voice, and then they tried to make her over, put her in Homeland. People like that. Somebody like that took over IndiGoGo CEO, and so it was kind of inevitable this was going to happen because this happened way back in last fall, and so it was like we're waiting for this to kind of drop, and then the first indicator we got was way back in last winter when Vaughn suddenly went to get his funds and was blocked until he censored part of his campaign. That was the first big one in our community. There were smaller ones before that, and then Magnificent Bastards went to get his money and it was blocked, and then he was the first one I heard of that got shadow banned because enough people complained that they released this money and he censored the hell out of his campaign to get the money out. But then immediately, and it was a small campaign, it's not like it was a ton of money, and then immediately on top of that, you can no longer find his campaign on the website, and it was shadow banned. And the guy that we talked to in customer service knew nothing about it. And so he sends an email over to Trust and Safety, and they released him from the. So obviously, they were the ones that were doing it.
Well,
and then
here's the problem. They use the term trust and safety because it sounds nice, but it's not. It's what they're doing.
Yeah. It's political commissar.
It's fascism.
It's political
Orwellian
commissar.
speak.
Yeah.
So
that's what it is. Political commissar.
Can I answer Dave's question? Dave had a question.
Yeah,
a little bit
go
earlier
right ahead. That's the one. Yeah, I was going to highlight that.
The greatest hurdles. Okay, so first off was just deciding to do it. If there was really a need, because why do it if it's not a need? Once we established that there was a need, it was determining whether or not it was going to flex my values for the good or for the bad. It's like what could this fit within my own personal values, religious stuff, being able to work with multiple kind of campaigns and people on a platform that maybe don't necessarily agree with my viewpoints on things. So I had to pray about that, come to terms with that. Todd and I both did, because he's another financial partner with this project. And then ultimately it was coming up with the money. It was just deciding to take that big chunk of money to pay for it. Oddly enough, everything's fallen into my lap when it comes to this project. That's why it's like, it took me actually praying about like whether or not this was kind of a path to take, whether this was part of the just keep walking, Luke, kind of situation. And so when we tried to do the launch from the original Thrinacia thing, it all fell apart because they suck bad. But Ray put me in contact with this guy named Dave, who owns this other company. And obviously we vetted Ray. Ray comes with great recommendation. A lot of people have vetted Ray. Ray is a great guy, so he's a part of this whole process. And then he is good friends and had vouched for this Dave guy. So Dave has been great. And so as far as that, the hardest part for me really ultimately was the paying the invoice. So far I've just had to sit and let someone else be an expert and do their thing, and then say, hey guys, look, hopefully next week we can say, look, we made this for you, so use it and be happy, and hopefully we'll be able to meet the needs of the community with it. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I think one thing that needs to be pointed out is that this is going to be proprietary software. This has been designed for the website.
Yes.
This is not. They're not using plugins. They're not using third party. They're not, and they're being very careful to make it as uncancelable as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. On servers.
This is established on its own servers. It's been so the website is dedicated. It's got 6 servers right now. It will eventually have more, I'm sure, as we move forward. But to start out with, we're doing 6 that are global.
It's going to handle the traffic.
It's definitely going to handle. It's definitely going to handle all the traffic. And so
the guy.
company,
it must be said. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Dave's company is actually going to own the code. So he's already a lot of it was like already built as far as I understand, and all the pieces have been put together with new features that we want. And so he's putting that together, but he was needing someone that could come along and actually pay the team to do it, because otherwise he can't pay his employees, pay his employees for doing work, right? So
right.
It all seemed to work out like that. So he's going to continue to own that code, and he will be able to license that code out like Thrinacia did to me. So in essence, Thrinacia screwed me over, and in the process, now we've created their one and only competitor. So suck it. And that's so other people will be able to license this once down the road. We'll be able to license this code from the developer, but no one else can use it for comics and games. Like we're it.
Exclusivity.
Exclusivity for life. So it's it's nice, to know that we've got this locked up, and that we're going to be able to run this thing forever. And so hopefully.
Yeah, who's the guinea pig, Luke?
The guinea pig? Well, who's going to have the first campaign? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I've got so many people wanting access right now. So we're going to just open up the floodgates and say, hey, come on in. I'm gonna do a second chance campaign. We're probably gonna do the Out of Obscurity, the game and the core manual for the Hybrids RPG will launch on that platform, and I mean, we're looking for a couple of other people that might want to come on and do it. I mean, yeah.
This has got to be addressed. I know this is a joke, but Hojo says apparently they violated terms of service. Well, the way that they get around that, Hojo, is they change their terms of service to be so vague that they can interpret it any way, shape, or form.
It's just like what Twitter did with the whole laptop situation. They said, "Well, we're gonna call it this," even though that's not what it was. But they called it that so that it violates terms of service. It's stupid. You're not gonna have that crap with Fund My Comic.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be. We're definitely profaning that. So what we're doing here. Let me see if there's anything more. Let me see over here. Hold on a second. The T-Bunny confirmed it was a frog smoking pot. I swear that's what I heard. No. Don't you want to be safe? No, I don't want to be safe. If that's safety, I don't want to be safe. No. Yep. Smile. Okay. See. Yep. All right. But not all follow that. Okay.
I'll answer Mrs. Good Stuff's question. Oh wait.
Yeah. No. Just a couple more here. I don't feel safe with your background, T-Buddy. Well, suck it, Todd. You deal with it. Anyway, I'm sorry. Luke's negativity got on me. Anyway, thanks for answering, Luke. Okay. Anyway, plan to be first launch. Yep. Already answered that. Yeah. That suck it. Yep.
Suck it.
You're catching, Luke. You're catching, man. Yes. Shove it right in their face. There you go.
Yep.
Anyway, is there any way to do a mock campaign to test it?
They've already been doing mocks. Okay. They're testing pipelines this week, making sure everything is connected. And so when we go live, it'll be ready to handle campaigns. So there's no need to test. All the banking will be tested. All of the features will be tested. Now, obviously, whenever you do launch beta, as soon as we get traffic, we're going to find little hiccups.
Sure.
IndiGoGo still has them. KickStarter still has them. We're going to find little hiccups, and then they'll get fixed right away because you'll have access to myself, Todd, Ray, and probably not directly to Dave, but you'll have direct to us. We have direct to Dave. So also Todd and Pixel Trader are going to have access to the coding, and they are two of the best computer nuts that I know. There's going to be in the interactive area arena. They're going to be involved with that. Pixel has to find where the information is so he can have it pulled in and integrate.
We're integrating IndiCron. IndiCron has been around a while. IndiCron's been a resource to this community for a long time. IndiCron at one point was going to try to do a crowdfund, but the powers that be decided that that's not something that they would support, so he couldn't do it. But he put the apparatuses in place to eventually that are going to be able to be used to interface with to Fund My Comic.
Todd's correcting. We won't actually have access to the code.
No.
Dave will own it, but we will be able to see the strings of information that we need. Because what we want to eventually have set up, and we may have to write an API for this. I don't know what API stands for. I'm repeating what I was told.
All the nerds say
API for this. Okay.
So it's important.
One of the things that we would like to do is that as soon as you create a campaign, it automatically lists on IndiCron without any, completely automated would be ideal for us. And then down the road, we're going to try to integrate pirate ship with the. So if you have a pirate ship account, you can integrate it like you would with like your Squarespace account or something.
That'd
like
be
that,
cool.
So that you can,
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Yeah,
Right,
so that's
right.
one of the goals. That's that's where we're going. Obviously, we can't do that for next week, but we have a lot of plans for growing the site. But we are going to have some growing pains when we first start. So, yeah, but your money will be safe. So here's how it works. Whenever you create a campaign, your money actually goes into an escrow for you, okay? And we hold that money in escrow. Actually, the developers, their bank, it's all set up to where, I mean, Luke Stone and Todd Altmans don't even touch your money. Like that's how secure this is. So it goes directly into this escrow that's created for you when you create your account, right? And that money is held there until you fund, and then it's released to you. So we will handle. I believe the way we're going to do it is we'll handle refunds for you until we release the funds, and then it's up to you after the point of the campaign closing. Then you.
Wait, so you're going to charge people as the back instead of like Kickstarter? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Money's taken right away and put into an escrow.
Well, there were some things that IndiGoGo did that way so much better than Kickstarter, and we're gonna like be IndiGoGo without the drawback. So application and program interface API software intermediary allows two applications.
Sure, I know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what the eggheads that gave you. The eggheads have like crossed it up. So read that over there. It'll tell you what API is.
I get it. Thank you.
Anyway,
man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what would be an interesting idea would be for Luke, because your site's going to be starting out, and because if you're on Indiegogo, you do get anonymous people that see your book, right?
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if you found a way to advertise is the wrong word, but you would be promoting all the books on the site in a way that will benefit the people that put their book on there.
Yeah.
Well, nice question or nice comment. I'm actually going to be promoting the website pretty fiercely. And as money comes in, money's going to go right back into the site and into promotion. And so we've already kind of working on what our plan of attack is for next year for promoting. We're probably not going to do Facebook ads and things like that. We may wind up doing it, but I've never had any luck with those. But we plan on, between Todd, Ray, and myself, and we plan on hitting a lot of live streams and promotions, trying to let people know about it. So as hard as we push the site, it's going to be kind of my primary thing next year, besides my hybrids titles, is promoting the site. And so
there's one thing you could do, and in a different direction than what you just described, because I assume that's what you're going to do, is that let's just hypothetically say you have a YouTube channel called Fund My Comic, and all you do is have 24/7 trailers, right? Yeah. And so if I want to do my campaign on your site, I'll give you'll tell me how long the video has to be. Let's say it's 1 minute, whatever. I'll give you a 1 minute thing, right? And you'll just plug it into your channel and it plays 24/7. Because you do have to find a way to compensate for the fact that you're not Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and you don't have people on your site looking to fund telescopes and hovercrafts, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the truth is, Indiegogo and Kickstarter started somewhere, right? I was on Kickstarter when they first started.
That's true.
No one came around. We had to bring our audience to that place. Now it has an audience because we brought our audience there. So part of the growth of this is that everyone that uses the site will be bringing their audience there. The reason why we want to integrate IndieCron is because they have an audience already. So, that is the idea, is to try to bring more people to have an audience there. And as we sign up with different affiliates or partners, that can promote.
I'll say one thing that you also have going for you that's really cool is the name of your site is really good, and it seems very neutral and very clear about what it is.
Yeah.
So if let's say you go to a convention, you hand out things for Fund My Comic, there's no confusion.
You're good.
And it's easy to remember. Yeah. So let me tell you a story. This is really funny. Here's how the name came out. I had the bones for the crowdfunding that I had already been plugging in to my own website with a widget so that we could fund some books without running through IndiGoGo and things like that. We'd already tested it and it was working. And when we decided to make it available for more than just myself and maybe a friend or two, I was trying to figure out what to name the site. And so we went to the Genesis crew chat and I was like, guys, what should I name my site? I need to buy a domain for this thing. And we come up with all kinds of stupid things. Like everything in there, obscenely talented or something like that. Yeah. We just kept putting all kinds of weird stuff out there. And Pixel Trader said, it's a shame Fund My Comic isn't available. And I just go, well, it is. Because every time someone would put in a name, I would check its availability. And I was like, it's available. And I did not hesitate. I hit buy. I bought the domain. Just in case I used it. Even if I didn't use it, I had it. Right?
Yeah.
But it just
Comicopia was not allowed, unfortunately.
No, it was not.
That was my favorite anyway.
We tried bailiwick.com, because Nick always talks about it's my bailiwick or whatever.
Right.
So we were doing all kinds of stuff, but Fund My Comic just happened to be available, and I mean it's, how much more specific can you get? It's like, hey, what are you trying to do? Fund My Comic. Mo Biggs always gives me a hard time. He's like, it's very aggressive, and I'm like, then fund my damn comic.
Fund My Comic.
I call it Fund My Comic because we didn't want to call it Fund My Damn Comic. So.
Yeah, well, when we did buy one back one, there's people thought that was like demanding. You're demanding people to, you're going to buy this comic and you're going to back this comic,
Well, and what if I am? What if I am?
Yeah,
Deal with it.
So what?
There are other names. Like Indie Crime's a really cool name too because it's vague, but you get it.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't have an action involved in it either. It's just indie crime. It's really so they're both different. I see your point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the bottom line though is we need this organic space, and having an aggregate like CG now is not going to do it. It's
right
because it's still fragmented. It's still while you're at somebody's website, you're just looking at their stuff. But the browse is the really important thing when you get to marketing. Browsing is vitally important. I mean, there's entire organizations that make billions of dollars a year creating spaces where people have to browse while they're buying products.
Totally.
Like grocery stores will create these rat mazes where you have to walk up this aisle to while you're walking up that aisle, you got when you're like a grocery store clerk, you have to like front everything so people can just glance and see what's there. I mean, you do that most of your night, and the browse is vitally important to
Belmont
to
really
marketing.
did want it to be called Cuckster.com.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm almost certain that's taken.
Yeah, that's
we're not
for a very different reason.
Our Simp Star was not good either.
So your 2% thing, let's just hypothetically say you had a big campaign on you. Let's say Ethan Van Sciver said, "I'm doing it for 2%." I'm doing it, right? I mean, that's a win-win for you.
For every $10,000 right now that you make on one of the other platforms, not counting the bank fees because we can't get rid of those, but the platform fee is 5%, so that's $500 that you're losing for every 10,000, right? So if you think you're, for $100,000, that's what is that? $5,000 that you're losing?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So instead of $500 for every 10 grand, you're only paying $200 for every 10 grand. So that makes when you start making those larger amounts, like, now if you multiply now it's $2,000 instead of $5,000 that you're losing. That those numbers add up. Now we're going to keep it at 2% for as long as we possibly can. We will probably eventually have to raise that, based on just normal market stuff, but we will never be as high as the other two are right now. I mean, that's not our goal. Is to always be 2 to 3% lower than what they are.
Well, one thing about IndiGoGo and Kickstarter is comics is like a less than 2% of their business. Most, if you look at the pie chart, and so they don't see comics as like something that is going to affect their bottom line. And which is one reason why they think they can cheese off a whole bunch of comic producers like they're doing. Because of Ethan Van Sciver's $2.5 million wrecked planet campaign, or whatever it is at this point, it's just a drop in the bucket for them. They've got tech apparatuses that might go as much as 10 or 15 million. And so
honestly, if all the comics left tomorrow and came to fund my comic, I don't think they would care. Honestly, I don't. I don't think. Well, here's the thing, Ray. Ribba didn't pay any percentage because he did it from a WordPress plugin, so it was on his own website. He just had to deal with the banks, but he still had trouble with PayPal. With some of that, with PayPal.
Yeah.
So ours is protected through like several walls. Ray could explain this better, but it's very protected. People aren't going to be able to access the site maliciously because of the protection that's there. But also the finances, they're protected. It's like it goes through like a couple different walls. So they would have a hard time chasing it down to try to steal people's money. So that's because I'm anal and I don't trust anyone. So I wanted I'm like we have to have like hard security on this because I know how people are, right? We see what they've what they try to do to I'm not necessarily a big fan of Crowder, that Louder with Crowder or whatever, but he had trouble with servers and stuff the other day. So I mean it's I wanted to make sure, knowing that we're going to cheese some people off because we allow people to have a voice that they want to silence. That's why they're going to be mad at us.
That's vitally important. The thing that we have to start getting out of the mindset of like segments that they're somehow we're competitors with one another, because essentially as one campaign goes, so go we all. I mean, I see this problem with when I started the buy one back one, where people were like, "Hey, that's my competitor. I'm not going to push them." But you know what? The thing about it is, though, is that was you at once upon a time, and somebody pushed you. Once upon a time, you were a beginner. You were at the bottom rung. That you were, you had a small impact on the world, and somebody bigger put you on, and so not allowing that for somebody else is just showing a level of
somebody that actually understands the tech speak.
There you go, Mr.
I understand the marketing. I understand the need for this. It wasn't something that I set out to, hey, let's start a crowdfunding website. It's hey, there's a need. It's here. God put me in a position where I could, have the finances to be able to do this right now. And hopefully campaigns come on, and that 2% that we get, we're not going to rich off of that, by the way. Like I said, it's $200 for every $10,000 that's raised on there. We're going to have to raise a whole lot of money for Todd and I to recover our investment. Like we're going to have to raise a whole lot of money. And so our goal is to try to recover our finances in 2 years, within 2 years. 1% goes directly back to the developer, okay? So that they can continue to funnel efforts into the site. 1% actually goes to the site. And so that's how that's working. Ray had this genius idea. TikTok does this thing where you can boost a stream so it pops up in the algorithms, it gets promoted, so to speak. And so Ray had this great idea. Well, instead of taking a website tip, what if we allowed people to boost a campaign up to a featured page so that it gets promoted and gets more eyes on it? for a little while, and then that money can go to help put money back into the site and help to recover our investments. But at the same time, it benefits the creator. Unlike, IndiGoGo, where it automatically makes you pay a percentage, you have to go in and do it. Yeah, that just goes to their pocket. It doesn't benefit anyone but them. This actually benefits the creator. So Ray had a fantastic idea, and so hopefully
that stuff will be clearly laid out, because I went and supported. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went, I funded Odin and backed Odin, and then I backed Boots and Heels, Camel Moon. And on both occasions, when I went to check out, because I was in such a rush to do it, FOMO, all right, I didn't even notice the tip thing until I saw my bank statement. So this sort of tip feature of ours is going to be like dog's balls. It's right there in your face.
You have to opt in it. Yeah.
That's really underhanded. I mean, I keep telling people, I was like, put that to 0 because they don't deserve. They do not deserve extra money for what they're doing right now.
Now that Ray is here, thankfully now that Ray's here, I got to tap out because I have to get to the post office. So people got to get books. So
hopefully you're shipping mine today. There you go.
Yeah.
Go with God. Go with God.
Take care.
All right. Bye, Luke. Thanks for coming. So basically, with the added complexity, and I add the diaspora as it is. Look up the word, okay? It makes sense. Which is basically when people who gather are scattered. Like with the Jewish nation was scattered at one point. That's called the diaspora. Anyway, but as IndiGoGo turned heel and suddenly became a hostile place, which a lot of us saw coming, but the upper echelon of CG was still being treated right, so they didn't call for the people to evacuate, and now some of them are getting banned. So some of them are, not all of them, but some of them are. And so now suddenly everybody's like, oh, we need to leave this website. Well, we needed to leave it months ago. This was going on. When my friend James Rock from Broken Compass Comics, they were messing with him. I mean, the guy had less than $5,000 on his campaign, and they thought they could just toy with him and make him like some kind of guinea pig, And when I brought it up to people, I got this attitude where, well, maybe he violated the terms of service. Right. That's not the point. That is not the point. Okay. And besides, the terms of service in that campaign was so odd because the image that they censored him for was a kid fighting back against the bully by stabbing him with a pencil through his cheek. Okay. Later on in that campaign, there was this image of multiple baby or young kids being slaughtered by samurai swords. Later on in that campaign, so the bully kid getting retaliated against was the image that they couldn't abide. But mass slaughter with samurai swords was fine.
Mr. Skywalker, what should we do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and so obviously that these things were not being it wasn't a terms of service thing. It was obviously some malice involved. Okay. And so now here we are, and we're facing the scattering. Where all these people are like, oh, I set up I set up a Shopify, or I set up I went on Zoop, or I did this creator. What was that one? The one that just popped up. I can't remember. No, it was another one that just popped up. A guy went on Bancroft and talked about it. But I mean,
Bancroft just launched his own independent funny thing by Shopify.
Right. Yeah. But he had a guy on with a crowdfunding website. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, but anyway, but basically, at if we scatter to the four winds and we all like pick up our own websites, then we're basically we went from a community with a throughway to separated islands. Okay, their own little kingdoms, and we're all and the advantage that we found from being in each other's presence and being intertwined are going to go away, which is what they planned when they did this crap. Okay. And so we cannot lose that cohesion. We can't. And so here's a website right here. Now, it's not one of the big guys, because the big guys had been saying for years they're going to do this, but they didn't. Okay. If they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. They have the resources, and they have all the same thing. In fact, they got more resources than Luke has. But Luke put his money where his mouth is, and Luke went and did this, okay? And Luke is putting his own ass on the line. He's putting his own campaigns on it, and so that's why I'm funding my comic July the 4th on Luke's. I'm putting my money in that basket, okay? And so we need a centralized website, like something like an IndiGoGo. And to keep that cohesion, to keep that community, and to keep the browse in the process.
Well, I'll tell you, like Chris Fisk has been on my show plenty of times, and he was talking about how, looking at his analytics, most of his customers came from like a link on YouTube or something. So he's on the show. That's when they go. It's not from the browse function on IGG. Now maybe that works for like known artists or somebody who's already got like 20 grand and now whatever. But not for him. He was maybe too small or something like that. So it didn't really help. So I'm thinking, maybe using IGG as a mall or a marketplace, maybe it's not worth it because I'm not big enough, or I can't bring enough eyes to the clicks to their website to really make a difference. And so having some like Fund My Comic is a great thing. I plan on using it when I launch in February. So I think it's because like he was saying earlier, you're bringing your audience to somewhere to process the transaction. That's really what it is. So I don't know.
One thing IGG offered that Fund My Comic is also going to offer through IndieCron. The interface with IndieCron is going to be vital, because IndieCron has a lot of normies that use that website. A lot of people that are involved in the shall we say culture war arena that use that website and are probably unaware that any of it's going on. Okay. And so with that interface, and even if they paint Fund My Comic, it's that's a bunch of Nazis, that's CG, or whatever, like they did with IndieCron. Okay. I'm sorry, IndiGoGo. Even if they do that, then this entity is going to have fingers in too many pies to be cancelable. Okay. They can't, unless they go through the banking. That's the only vulnerability that Luke's going to have, is through the banking. Okay. And
but at the same time, we've got protections against that, because with the Dave person, we've got the legal specialists that deal with this stuff on a daily. Because this is not our first circus, that sort of stuff.
Right. So I've heard of places like Bank of America. I'm not going to, fund your transactions any longer. Okay. Or I'm going to stop your account or whatever. I've seen that happen. So, I mean, that's something to worry about, but that's everywhere,
Well, American Express pulls that shit all the time, but American Express, who uses American Express? I really don't
know me.
No, I've never had one.
That's a rich person's card. So, American Express is not going to okay. Well, that's going to take a chunk out of me, right?
Yeah, I want to pay for my credit card yearly fee.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. But it's a black card, though. It's black. See, it's black. Yeah. It's pretty in black. All right. Anyway,
I guess what I'm getting at though is like, it's the financial institutions that that's where it's at. Whether or not they'll drop a hammer on you, but I mean, how does it get noticed to even come to that? I don't know.
Well,
that's all on the back end,
right.
because we're pretty proactive with this type of stuff, especially with the community that I'm plugged into, with the whole Tug universe and that sort of stuff. And I handle everything on his back end. You know, fulfillment, shipping, deliveries, issues, clients, complaints, rando emails for them. I've got, and that's over and above all the hacking and stuff that all the attempts.
All right. I apologize, Hicksville.
But our team is very proactive on that sort of stuff. So we'll see it before it even gets noticed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if anybody's going to get canceled, anybody going to cancel Tug is, because Tug is like jousting at some pretty large windmills. Okay, he's directly taking on the Hollywood machine. So, so if he's able to keep Tug online, then he's going to be able to keep Fund My Comic online. So, because I mean, they've doxed Tug, they've gone after his family. They've said,
I've followed celebrities or whatever who have been completely eliminated from like transacting, using normal banking and whatnot. So I don't know. It's just that's always nothing is safe. So but as safe as you can be. That's nice.
It must be about time to go. Eastland Burkholder just showed up.
Right.
She always shows up at the end of the show. It's like, and she says brilliant stuff, and it's like, what wasn't you here an hour ago? Anyway,
she's fashionably late.
I know.
That's all, folks.
There you go. Anyway, let's for a few minutes talk about backing some of the buy one back ones that we've got. We've got the campaigns listed below in the description. So if you're wondering, there's a list, a curated list by Mr. Belmont over there. He posted a campaign update to Belmont Press earlier today. If you're not a subscriber to that channel, make sure you subscribe, because we got comics, we got Cannabis and Conspiracies and the High Stream, two very good shows on there. And plus the buy one back one initiative update and curated list is on there. Anyway, okay, all right. She was late. She was eating and had bad internet some days. Oh, no problem. Anyway, so we're kind of running up against we talked too much about this today, but anyway, so click on that hashtag buy one back one. Also look for the buy one back one. The new buy one back one vids over there. Yep. Belmont just posted it. So
it has all the links to every single one on the chart.
Yeah, and they're also in the description of this video. Also, the website, the WordPress website, buy one back one. Do you have that link, Belmont?
The WordPress one? Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah. Make sure you click on that. He's got about 118 campaigns on there. Some of them are normie campaigns, but some of them are, but a lot of them, he does a lot update every day. Ian is his name. He does update every day. I try to follow him.
If you guys run into any issues with the WordPress side of things and that sort of stuff, you can always bring him to the fold as well.
Okay. All right. There you go. Also, so all we want to do, though, with this buy one back one, and I think it's going to be vitally important as we go forward, is we want to make no distinction between the large campaigns and the small campaigns in importance. Okay. If it's quality, then it should be right up there with the large campaigns, and they should be on the same platform. They should be on the same level and the same visibility, and they have every right to the marketplace as the big guys do. And that's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to level the playing field. They have to still sell their own comic. They still have to be good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And so if you click on one of these buy one back ones, we're still and you go for one of the back ones, the smaller campaigns under 10K, they still have to be a good quality comic. We're not saying throw meritocracy out the window and then put money in the red kettle. If anybody still does that.
No, one thing that we had talked about on my show with a few different creators, it was like, it would be nice to see if you like this, then here's that. So like, if you're in the same genre or something that's similar, then you can have a big book and a small book interact.
Right. Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's like SOLTAC. SOLTAC. Yeah, it's like SOLTAC is got the interstellar kind of like space opera kind of thing. And it's a smaller campaign, but you put it with something like Zach, your boy Zach's Impossible Stars, which I don't know how big it's going to be.
Swatted.
Well, anyway.
They're going after Ray so they can take down Tug.
There you go. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I'm serious. I wouldn't doubt it. They were after Tug hard, man. They called like protective services on his kids, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Multiple times, not just
multiple times. Yeah. I mean,
That's
people are just it's just the Amber Heard simps, man. They're psychotic, man. If that's your queen, then I guess you have to be anyway. All right, fun to say I know about that guy or gal when almost no nobody. Yeah, exactly. Good stream catch late. All right. Anyway, it's like okay. I think it's important for people to understand that the comics that have changed everything came from small creators. Okay, like Billy Tucci at one time was borrowing money to put that comic book out, and it changed. It brought in the whole sexy bad girl, movement in the 90s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Eastman and Laird were printing that on a copying machine, stapling it together, and taking it to cons. And then less than 10 years later, they had a movie, live action movie. It changed the whole entire culture. So these 10K, under 10K books are just as important to change everything as the $3 million campaign that just came out. As a matter of fact, they might have a better chance because it might be a better book anyway. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. I know, Belmont. I'm sorry. All right. I know. I fix that. But anyway, evidently Eastland's a Tug fan. There you go. She likes Tug. All right. But yeah, that link right there. Click on it. Click on the hashtag buy one back one. Find out who's been using the hashtag. You'll find campaigns. You'll find streams, live streams, or maybe of channels that you haven't seen. And you'll find all sorts of goodies underneath that hashtag that have kind of been put under there. So with look for Fund My Comic, it's going through beta right now. It's going to they're going to test it for they're going to stress test it. It's called stress testing when you see if servers are going to be able to handle traffic. But they're going to go through that process, and as soon as they get it to where they feel like it's going to hold up to a lot of pressure, web clicks and everything, and then it's going to become available. And instead of hosting your own websites, instead of dealing with your own plugins, instead of dealing with a middleman who's going to be stealing half your money, that 2%. Hosting fee for Fund My Comic is going to be very economically viable, and you won't have to worry about your hosting your own campaign. They'll be worrying about it for you, and so that's got to be attractive, and just so pay attention to when that comes live. Consider putting your campaign on there. Click on buy one back one and check out other smaller campaigns and big campaigns. Okay. Because we're not, that's what the buy one's about. The big campaigns that are guaranteed sales or guaranteed to be on your front door. And so I got Eric Nanotowski's Shadow Century 2 on its way to me right now, and I'm very excited. That book is gorgeous. Okay.
Nice.
And so there are smaller creators out there that are just as good as anything you've ever seen in mainstream. Okay, as technology lowered the bar to entry, then really truly honest, awesome creators are now able to get into it with the same price point. So they just need eyes. That's what the whole thing's about. Good discussion, guys. Love to hash your stuff out. Yeah, Todd, good to see you, man. Yes, what he's talking about, the 2% website. There you go. All right.
If we're lucky, one day we're gonna have if things go well, we're gonna all be wearing T-shirts that say, "I remember when it was 2%, Luke."
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that now. Or like keep it 2%, Luke.
What happened to hold the line at 2%, Luke?
Yeah, 2%.
That's a good scenario.
That's what Redbox did. Remember, Redbox had videos for like 50 cents when they first came out.
Right.
75 cents. Now it's like 350 or something, whatever it is.
Really?
I've got the perfect one. 2% my ass. There you go. That's perfect. We need to make those now. Anyway.
Well, you can use the snake from the Genesis Crew logo and just say 2% my ass.
Asp. Oh, that's perfect. You occasionally have a brilliant idea. You occasionally do. That's why I have you on, Will. I put up with the trains running through your living room every day. It is what it is.
Well, I gotta have a getaway plan.
Oh, right. He is the Joker. All right. Anyway, one last comment before we go. Yeah, this is the real comics industry right here. Yes, it is. And it's going to wind up being the only comics book industry.
Just please remember the feature. If you like this, you may like this kind of stuff. I think it's a really good idea. So if I can contribute anything to the discussion, I think that everybody on that video that night would like that.
All right. I'll definitely bring it up with Luke, and we're on the front end of this. So, and Ray he can talk to the developer himself. So that's definitely going to happen. Also with IndieCron, that's also going to happen with IndieCron. IndieCron's working on that. So,
nice.
Well, anyway, so this is not fly by night. This is not something that's half-assed. This is going to be solid technology, solid software. It's going to be something that is going to hold on one second. Let me kill my camera here. You'll see naked Craig right here. Anyway.
Oh God!
Whoa! Turn that camera off, buddy.
No.
What are you guys doing over
That's
there?
okay.
Yeah. Was it
his closet's
talking
in this
about
bedroom.
this earlier?
His closet's in this bedroom. Don't worry about it. Anyway, all right.
I'm clipping that.
Sometimes it's like that.
Anyway, it is the way it is.
Previously, the only move was behind Belmont.
Well, he's been in a hospital bed with tubes hanging out of him. So give him a break. Him being up and around is a really good thing. All right. So that's been Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics. Yeah, he was wearing pants, by the way. You did see the pants, right?
I had pants for the first time.
Well, he's actually been pajama bottoms up till now. He's very excited about having pants. Anyway,
I hope he doesn't float around the house like Dr. Manhattan or anything.
No. All right. Evidently, there's a couple more. Let me see this right quick. Later movies crowdfunding because this pioneered it. Go 2% Luke. What's the going bankrupt category? Images don't link to a campaign. And building the business model. Yeah, we're working on it. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the chat. It's been a very active chat. A very good discussion. Share this link for this video out so people can see what's going on. And that's all I've got for this afternoon. So y'all have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Later. See you around.
Probably should end the broadcast though.